You wanted discipline. You wrote the goals. You made the plan. You promised yourself this time would be different. And then the moment came, the one where you had to act, and you didn't. Not because you lacked vision, but because you had no structure to hold you when vision faded. The samurai did not rely on wanting. They relied on form, on systems that did not bend when emotion did, on rituals that carried them through doubt, fatigue, and resistance. You have been setting goals. They have been failing you, not because goals are useless, but because they depend on states you cannot control. Motivation, inspiration, momentum. A system does not care how you feel. It moves without your permission. It builds without your awareness. And it transforms you not through intensity, but through return. This is the samurai habit, and it will not ask for your belief, only your repetition. This is Discipline Dojo. If you are here to train, subscribe. If not, leave now. Type this sentence in the comments. Nothing else. I build systems, not wishes. Chapter 1. The collapse of the goal. You were told to dream big, to set goals that excite you, to visualize the outcome until it feels real. And you did. You saw yourself transformed, lean, focused, successful, respected. But the image did not build you. It only made the present feel smaller. Goals are endpoints. They live in a future you do not control. And every day you do not reach them, they remind you of what you are not. The samurai understood this. They did not train toward a feeling. They trained within a form. The form did not promise victory. It promised repetition. And repetition built the warrior. When you set a goal, you create dependency. You need to feel progress. You need to see results. You need proof that the effort is working. And when proof delays, you stop. This is not weakness. This is design. Goals are designed to inspire. But inspiration is not structure. It is fuel. And fuel burns out. The samurai did not wait for inspiration. They followed kata, a sequence, a pattern, a system that did not ask if they were ready. Kata was not about the outcome. It was about the return, to the form, to the stance, to the repetition that shaped muscle, mind, and instinct. You do not need a bigger goal. You need a smaller loop, one you can enter every day, one that does not require emotion, one that runs whether you believe in it or not. The goal says, become this. The system says, do this. One lives in your imagination. The other lives in your calendar. This is not a rejection of ambition. It is a rejection of dependency. You do not chase the result. You install the behavior. And the result becomes inevitable. The collapse of the goal is not failure. It is clarity. You were not lazy. You were structureless. Now you build the structure. Chapter 2. The Samurai Habit. Form over feeling. The samurai did not train when they felt like it. They trained because the form demanded it. This is the separation between the one who waits for alignment and the one who moves regardless. You have been taught that discipline is about willpower, that you must fight yourself into action, that the strong simply want it more. This is a lie. The samurai did not want it more. They structured it better. A habit is not about desire. It is about design. You remove the negotiation. You remove the decision. You remove the gap between knowing and doing. The samurai habit is this: form over feeling. You do not ask how you feel. You ask what the form requires, and you enter it. This is not robotic. It is liberated. Because the battle is not in the action. The battle is in the decision. And when the decision is made once, you do not fight it again. You install the form. You return to it. And over time, the form shapes you. This is how behavior becomes identity. Not through declaration, through repetition. You do not become disciplined by feeling disciplined. You become disciplined by doing the disciplined thing. Again, and again, and again. The samurai trained every morning, not because every morning felt right, but because every morning is the form. The form did not ask. It did not negotiate. It did not wait. You wake, you train, you continue. This is the habit, and it is not built through intensity. It is built through inevitability. You do not need to feel ready. You need to remove the moment of choice. When you wake, you move. No pause, no evaluation, no internal debate. The pause is where you lose. The moment you ask yourself if you should, you have already introduced resistance. The samurai did not ask. They moved, and the movement carried them past the part of the mind that hesitates. This is the samurai habit: form over feeling, system over state, return over result. You do not wait to be inspired. You act. And inspiration follows action, not the reverse. Chapter 3. Systems are invisible until they break. You do not notice the system until it is gone. You wake at the same time. You follow the same sequence. You move through your day without thinking. This is system, and it is ruling you. The question is not whether you have systems. You do. The question is whether they are building you or eroding you. Most of your systems were not chosen. They were inherited from environment, from convenience, from the path of least resistance. You scroll because the phone is next to you. You skip the workout because nothing in your environment demands it. You eat poorly because the poor option is faster. These are systems, and they are shaping you. The samurai did not leave structure to chance. They built it with intention, and they protected it with ritual. A system is a sequence of actions that runs without decision. It is triggered, it flows, it completes. You do not decide each step. You enter the system, and the system carries you. This is why systems are more powerful than goals. A goal requires constant motivation. A system requires only initiation. You do not need to want it every day. You need to start it every day. And once started, the system takes over. The San Eduardo was not stronger than you. He was better structured. His morning was not a series of choices. It was a single sequence. Wake. Cold water. Movement. Meditation. Weapon drill. He did not decide. He followed. And because the sequence was set, his energy was not spent on deciding. It was spent on doing. This is the invisible advantage. The one who has a system does not fight himself. He follows. You have been fighting yourself every day, every decision, every time you ask if you should. The fight is not in the action. The fight is in the gap before the action. The system removes the gap. You do not ask if you will train. You train. because the system says so. You do not ask if you will write, you write. Because the time is set. The system is not visible when it works. It is only visible when it breaks. And when it breaks, everything collapses. This is why you must protect it, not with intensity, but with consistency. The samurai protected the form, because the form protected him. You do not protect your goals, you protect your systems, because your systems build your goals. Chapter 4. The Architect Principle. Build, do not chase. You have been chasing the feeling, chasing the outcome, chasing the version of yourself you saw in your mind. The samurai did not chase. They built. This is the architect principle. You do not run toward the result. You construct the conditions that make the result inevitable. A goal is a destination. A system is a blueprint. The destination does not tell you how to build. The blueprint does. You do not need to know how to be disciplined. You need to know what disciplined people do. And then you need to build the structure that makes you do it. This is architecture. You are not hoping for change. You are engineering it. The samurai did not hope to be skilled. They installed the training, and the training installed the skill. You do not become what you want. You become what you repeat. This is the principle, and it is not motivational. It is mechanical. You want to write. You do not need inspiration. You need a time, a place, a trigger, a sequence, every day. Same time, same place, same opening action. The sequence becomes automatic. The automation becomes identity. You are not a writer because you feel like one. You are a writer because you write. Every day, without negotiation. This is architecture. You are building the structure that builds you. The samurai built their day around the form. The form was non-negotiable. And because it was non-negotiable, it did not require willpower. It required only obedience. Obedience to the structure you set. You are not obeying someone else. You are obeying the version of yourself that designed the system. This is self-respect. You trust your design. You follow it. And you do not question it in the moment. The moment is not for deciding. The moment is for doing. You decide once. You build the system. And then you follow. This is the architect principle. Build, do not chase. The result will come, but it will not come because you chased it. It will come because you built the conditions that made it inevitable. Chapter 5. Resistance is not the enemy. Negotiation is. You have been told that discipline is about overcoming resistance. This is incomplete. Resistance is constant. It is not the enemy. It is the environment. The enemy is negotiation. The samurai did not negotiate with resistance. They did not evaluate whether the training was hard. They entered it. Resistance does not stop you. The conversation with resistance stops you. You wake. You feel the pull to stay. And then you ask the question, should I? The question is the trap. Once you ask, you have opened the door, and resistance will walk through it. The samurai did not ask. They moved. This is the difference between the one who hesitates and the one who acts. Hesitation is not about fear. It is about negotiation. You are negotiating with the part of you that wants comfort. And comfort always wins the negotiation. Because comfort speaks in logic. It gives you reasons. It tells you tomorrow is fine. It reminds you that you are tired. All of it is true, and none of it matters. The system does not care if you are tired. The system runs. You are not removing resistance. You are removing the conversation. You do not fight the resistance. You move before the conversation begins. This is speed, not physical speed. Mental speed. The gap between the trigger and the action must be small. The smaller the gap, the less room for resistance to speak. You wake. You move. No pause. You sit to work. You begin. No pause. The pause is where you lose. The samurai understood this. The draw of the sword was not slow. It was instant, because delay allowed doubt, and doubt allowed defeat. You do not allow delay. You act. This is not aggression. It is efficiency. You are not fighting yourself. You are designing yourself out of the fight. Resistance is not the enemy. Negotiation is. Stop negotiating. Start moving. Chapter 6. The Ritual. Entry without thought. The samurai did not begin training by deciding to train. They began with ritual. Ritual is the bridge between the disordered mind and the disciplined action. You do not jump into the hard thing. You enter it through form. This is the power of ritual. It does not require belief. It requires only execution. And once executed, it carries you into the state you could not force. You cannot force yourself to feel disciplined, but you can follow a sequence, and the sequence creates the state. This is entry without thought. You wake, cold water on your face. 30 seconds. Then movement, 5 minutes. Then stillness, 3 minutes. The sequence is small, but it is non-negotiable. And because you do it every day, it becomes the entry into the day, into the work, into yourself. The ritual does not ask how you feel. It precedes feeling. You do not wait to feel awake. You follow the ritual, and the ritual wakes you. This is the mechanism. The body follows the action. The mind follows the body. You do not think your way into discipline. You act your way into it. The samurai bowed before entering the dojo, not because the bow was magical, but because the bow was the trigger. It said, "I am no longer the person outside this space. I am now the person inside it." The ritual is the shift from one identity to another. You are not the same person when you are in your system. You are the version of yourself that the system demands. And the ritual is how you step into that version. Without it, you are negotiating. With it, you are entering. This is why the ritual must be simple and repeatable and non-negotiable. It is not about the content of the ritual. It is about the consistency, the same sequence, every time, until the sequence itself becomes the signal. Your body learns, your mind learns, and eventually, the ritual alone shifts you. You do not need to feel ready. You need to begin the ritual, and the ritual will make you ready. This is entry without thought, and it is the bridge between resistance and action. Chapter 7. The Compound. Invisible until undeniable. You will not see the result today. You will not see it tomorrow. You will train. You will follow the system, and you will feel the same. This is the test. The samurai did not train for the feeling of progress. They trained because the form required it. And over time, the form changed them. Not suddenly, not visibly, but completely. This is the compound, the invisible force that builds its silence. You do not see the muscle grow. You see it months later. You do not see the skill sharpen. You see it when it is tested. You do not see the system working. You see the person you have become because of it. The compound does not reward the day. It rewards the return. You show up once. Nothing changes. You show up 100 times. Everything changes. This is not motivational. This is structural. Small actions, repeated, compounded, become transformation. But only if you do not stop. Most people stop, not because they are weak, but because they do not see the result. They train for 2 weeks. They feel the same. And they conclude that the system does not work. But the system does not show itself in 2 weeks. It shows itself in 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades. The samurai trained the same kata for a lifetime, not because it changed every day, but because the return changed him. You are not looking for daily transformation. You are looking for inevitable transformation. And inevitable transformation comes from invisible repetition. The compound is not visible until it is undeniable. You will not feel it until one day you do. And when you do, it will not feel like progress. It will feel like identity. You will not say, "I am becoming disciplined." You will say, "I am disciplined." And the shift will not have a date. Because the shift was not an event. It was 1,000 small returns. This is the compound, and it does not ask for your faith, only your consistency. You do not need to believe it is working. You need to keep returning. The system does not prove itself today. It proves itself over time, and time does not care how you feel. It only measures what you repeat. Chapter 8. The Vow. System over Self. The samurai made a vow, not to others, to the form. The vow was simple. I will return. Not when I feel like it. Not when it is convenient. Not when I am ready. I will return. This is the vow you must make. Not to motivation, to the system. The system does not serve you. You serve it. And in serving it, it builds you. This is the inversion. You do not use discipline to get what you want. You submit to discipline. And discipline shapes you into someone who no longer wants what you used to want. The samurai did not train to feel powerful. They trained because the training was the vow. And over time, the training removed the parts of them that were weak, not through force, through exposure. You do not fight your weakness, you starve it, by refusing to feed it. Every time you follow the system, you starve the part of you that negotiates. Every time you return, you starve the part of you that quits. Every time you act without feeling, you starve the part of you that waits for permission. This is the vow. System over self. You do not ask what you want in the moment. You ask what the system requires, and you do it. This is not sacrifice. It is clarity. You are not giving up what you want. You are giving up what you used to want. The comfort, the delay, the negotiation. You are choosing the version of yourself that the system builds. And that version does not need motivation, because that version is the system. The samurai did not become disciplined. They became the discipline. There was no separation between who they were and what they did. This is the vow, and it is not made once. It is made every day, every time you return, every time you act, every time you refuse to negotiate. you are making the vow again. And over time, the vow becomes you. You do not follow the system. You are the system. This is the transformation. Not from weak to strong, from divided to whole. You are no longer at war with yourself, because there is no self that resists. There is only the form, and you are inside it. This is the samurai habit, and it will transform your life. Not because it is powerful, but because it is permanent. You do not need to believe it. You need to install it. And once installed, it does not ask for your belief. It simply runs. This is your training. Choose one behavior. One you will repeat every day, not when you feel like it. Every day. Set the time. Set the trigger. Remove the choice. Then return. Every day. Without negotiation. There is no end date. This is not a challenge. It is a standard. Begin today. Continue without pause. You are not chasing the result. You are installing the system. The result will come, but only after you stop asking for it. Now, right now, before you close this video, before you move to the next thing, you will do something, not tomorrow, not when you have time. Now, you will choose the system, the one behavior that will become your form. It will be small, so small you cannot use poor as an excuse. 5 push-ups when you wake. 1 page of writing before coffee. 2 minutes of stillness before you touch your phone. Cold water on your face before you speak to anyone. Small, specific, non-negotiable. Write it down, not in your mind, on paper, or in the comments below this video. Make it visible. Make it real. Then you will set the trigger, the exact moment it happens. Not in the morning, not when I have time. The exact trigger. When my feet touch the floor, when the coffee brews, when I close my laptop, when I finish my last meal. The trigger removes the decision. You do not think, you act, and then you will protect it for 7 days. Not because 7 is magic, but because 7 is enough to see if you are serious. You will not add to it. You will not make it harder. You will not expand the system. You will only return to it. 7 times, without negotiation. Most of you will not do this. You will watch. You will agree. You will feel the pull of the idea. And then you will do nothing. This is not judgment. This is pattern. But some of you will act. And those few will learn something the rest will not. That the system does not require you to be ready. It only requires you to begin. So begin. Now. Write the behavior. Write the trigger. Then close this video and execute it once. Right now, before the day ends. 1 repetition. That is all. The system starts with 1, and 1 is enough. Train now.